Megan is joining us on the stream today because this is the first fluctuation that she is actually participating in this second season. I want to make sure, yeah, you can hear me. So I'm going to switch the screen over to the stock market. I will mention right here and now that if you go up in the top right corner of the screen, you'll be able to vote in the next fluctuation by clicking on that eye icon, pulling down the poll, and voting for whatever you wish. So you should be able to see the stock market on the screen. This is the values from last week, and you can see that Megan has now been added into the stock market. She relied heavily on blue, so we will see how her investments play out today. So we'll get right into it. So I'm going to add the values in here. Now, if you'll remember, red has been taking some significant hits from the previous week, so we will see how that goes. But first off, we're gonna start over here with 12 today. We'll switch it up a little bit. So 12 received a 20% of the vote. Blue received a 20% of the vote. Green received a 0% of the vote. Yellow received a 40% of the vote. And red received a 20% of the vote. So basically, for everyone except for yellow and green, the fate of the change in the market is based off of the market factor completely. Whereas green will definitely go down and yellow will definitely go up, unless we get exactly 0 or exactly 40. So we're gonna clear this off and get this going. So I will click enter and it should do our next market factor, and that market factor is 12, oddly enough. So if we plug 12 in here, you can see that everybody except for green has gone up. So this is probably good for the market in general, considering that the market has been on a downwards trend. That also means that even Steven should be seeing a relatively decent buff this week, but we will have to see how things go with the rest of the market. So I'm going to click new market here. You'll remember that I fixed this macro, and then we will zero out the market factor here, and we are back to where we were. So as per how we have been doing this, I am going to copy and paste these into the market trends page. So I should be able to paste these numerically into there, and you can see on the graph right away that most of the values have seen somewhat of a rise from last week. So yellow is still on this relatively powerful upwards trend, but we see that blue has been making somewhat of a bounce back. Green has been taking somewhat of a hit this season, which is surprising considering how it did last season. Now we can go over to the scoreboard and check out how everybody's doing in the actual competition. So there is some reshuffling here, and we can see that even Steven has in fact increased his value up to 93,400. So I'm going to grab these here, and we are going to see how things shift around. And looky there, Jono is on top of the market once again. So we're hearing some jeering from the peanut gallery. But Dan is still up here, sitting in second now. Khalil has claimed his position in third once again. Mr. Positive is actually in the positive, which is something we haven't seen all season so far, but that significant rise in most stock actually helped him out completely. He has not invested in green, so this was really his week in terms of stock fluctuation. Green was the only one that went down, so anybody invested in green took a little bit of a hit there. So sorry about that, OC. You are now down to, I believe that's 5th, because you'll remember that number 1 is the names up here. So OC's now in 5th, which is a significant drop from his previous position, but we're going to go update the contestant trends page. So I'll get mine and Dan's. So I am 113,054, Dan is 112,000 because Dan is completely invested in 12. So whatever the value of 12 is, you just multiply that by 1,000. So I'm 113,054. That should be pretty easy to remember. 113,054, and Dan is 112,000. Then we'll go back to the scoreboard. Khalil is 107,750. Mr. Positive is 102,700. So Khalil is 107,750, and Mr. Positive is 102,700. And then we just have Megan, OC, and even Steven. Perhaps we can get all three here. So OC is 95,000. That's pretty easy to keep track of. Even Steven is 93,400, and Megan is 91,376. So I'll try to remember that. 95,000, 93,400, 91,376. So we have 95,000. We have 93,400, and we have 91,376. Is that correct? Let's go check. It is. So now with that put in, we should be able to see the, so I have made a mistake here by not adding a 0. That would change things. And so you can see the investments here. So the only person who actually went down this week is OC. OC took a relatively large hit this week. Well, actually no, it wasn't more that he took a large hit. It was more that everybody else took a pretty big gain on this week. So that's interesting to see. But I just barely made it above Dan here. So I'm sure that there will be some butting of heads in the weeks to come. But that is the stock market update for this week. We're going to keep it relatively short. I don't know if you have anything to say before we sign off, Megan?
Not really.
Sounds good. So I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to go up in the top right corner and vote in that poll so that we can keep the fluctuation going. We've been having some pretty good participation, which I want to thank you guys for. Totally. Once again, I've been saying that the community involvement has been significantly increased since I guess the previous quarter. I don't know if we're in the second quarter of the year. I think we are, right? Yeah, we are. We're in summer. But thank you all across the board, and I'm going to be signing off. But we do have a guest stream this Saturday. I'm going to be talking with Carly. I think she said that she was going to hold out on talking on her her thesis just because they still have some research papers they're putting together, and it can get weird with the copyright and whatnot for those kind of materials. So she's just going to be talking about what she's studying in general. So we should be seeing a pretty good correlation with her previous topic, which was just epidemiology in general. So I'm looking forward to that. I hope you guys are too. And more will be posted in terms of actual times that's going to happen on the Facebook page. And once that is organized, it will be posted on YouTube as well. So look forward to that, and I will see you on Saturday once I can find my mouse. There it is.